High above a peaceful little town floated a tiny white cloud named Benny. He was soft and round, but so much smaller than the other clouds, while the big gray clouds made loud thunder and heavy rain. Poor Benny could barely manage a light drizzle. The larger clouds didn't mean to be hurtful, but they often told him, "You're just too small to be a real storm cloud." He would look down at the dry fields and the thirsty trees below, whispering to himself, "I wish I could help the town one day." Deep inside his fluffy heart, Benny dreamed of becoming strong enough to protect everyone. One evening, the sky suddenly turned a dark, angry purple. Strong winds began to roar, and from far away, a giant black cloud moved closer and closer. It was the Storm King, the ruler of the Storm Kingdom. Lightning flashed across his massive body, and thunder shook the entire sky. "I will cover this town in endless darkness," he boomed with a terrifying voice. Seeing his power, the bigger clouds quickly floated away in fear. "We can't stop him," they cried. "He's just too powerful for us." Benny trembled with fear, but when he looked down, he saw children running home, frightened, and trees bending over in the fierce wind. For the first time, Benny stopped thinking about how small he was. "I may be small," he said to himself, his voice steady, "but I can't run away." Instead of hiding, Benny floated directly toward the Storm King. The powerful winds pushed him back again and again, but Benny kept pushing forward. The Storm King let out a loud, booming laugh. You are just a tiny puff," he mocked. Benny felt a jolt of fear, but then he remembered the town below and all the people he wanted to protect. "I may be small," Benny said bravely, "but I have heart." The Storm King sent a bolt of lightning flashing right near him. Benny quickly dodged it, and in that moment he realized something very important. He didn't need to fight with thunder and lightning. He needed to use the unique strengths that he had. So Benny began to gather all the warm air and moisture he could find in the sky. Instead of trying to grow bigger like the other clouds, he focused on becoming stronger on the inside. Then he released a soft but very steady rain over the town. The gentle rain began to cool the hot, angry air. Slowly but surely, the roaring wind started to weaken. The dry earth eagerly drank up the much-needed water. The Storm King growled in confusion. "What are you doing?" he demanded. "I'm helping," Benny replied calmly. As Benny continued his gentle, persistent reign, the dark energy of the storm began to break apart. Without anger and chaos to feed it, the Storm King started shrinking. His lightning faded, and his thunder soft to a distant rumble. Finally, the giant storm dissolved completely into a harmless, gray mist. As the storm faded, the sky cleared, and a beautiful, bright rainbow stretched across the horizon. The larger clouds cautiously returned, completely amazed by what they saw. "You saved the town," one of them said in disbelief. "But you didn't even use thunder," another added, confused. Benny smiled warmly. "True strength isn't about being the loudest or the biggest," he explained. "It's about caring enough to stand firm and do what's right." Below, children laughed and joyfully jumped in the fresh puddles. The trees stood tall and green again, their leaves glistening. From that day forward, Benny was no longer known as the smallest cloud. He became known as the bravest cloud, and he finally understood that real power comes from courage, kindness, and most importantly, believing in yourself.